Today I'm going to show you how to use bias tape to finish all your pieces cleanly. I'm going to start with the most beginner-friendly method. You're going to place the bias tape on the right side of the piece against the unfinished edge. Then you can machine stitch into the natural fold of the bias tape. For the sake of the video, I've used a contrasting thread, but I advise you to use a thread of the same color as your bias. Then you're gonna take your piece on the wrong side and turn the bias over the seam to sandwich the unfinished edge. Then pin the bias tape in place and sew it by hand with an invisible stitch. You can find tutorials on that on YouTube if you need them. This method gives a very clean result even if you're not very comfortable with your sewing machine and can't do a very straight stitch, because everything will be hidden on the back. But this technique is also longer than the one I'm going to show you now. This time you're gonna place your bias along the edge on the back of the piece. Then sew into the fold and turn the bias to the right side of the fabric. Pin it in place. Then you're gonna use your sewing machine. The seam should be straight and as close to the edge of the bias as possible. This is what makes this technique more difficult than the first one, because you need to be able to do a clean straight stitch. In this part 2, we are gonna take a look at how to start the bias and make corners. The first technique for a clean start is to fold the edge of the bias before sewing in the fold for the first time. Then you'll turn the bias over naturally and sew it in place. It can require a bit of a manipulation to get it right, it's okay. This technique does not hide the edge of the piece and cannot be used in all cases. To hide all the raw edges, use the following method. This time turn the piece over before folding the end of the bias. Then bring back the entire bias tape over to sandwich the raw edges and get a clean result. It can still require a bit of manipulation, but the result will be really neat and clean. Now, to make corners with the bias tape, you start by sewing it on one side. You can use either the easy or difficult method. The handling is going to be a little complicated afterwards. We are going to fold the bias at a 90-degree angle towards the outside of the corner. Then fold it back in the other direction at a right angle to form a triangle. Pin well before and after the fold. This technique should form an ear with a right angle. You can repeat it until you get this result. Then sew on each side of the triangle fold that has been formed, by hand or by machine. Sew it right up to the pleat, but be sure to not catch it in your seam. As shown in the image, the seam should end just before the pleat, leaving it completely free to move. You can then fold it to the other side and sew this side. You can now turn the bias over and pin it to either side of the corner without worrying about the weird pleat formed during the manipulation. At this stage, you are gonna need to manipulate this corner until you are happy with the shape. In the video, I had to go over it 3 times, which is perfectly normal, so don't be frustrated, you will have to manipulate it a bit until you get it right. When you get it right, make sure to pin it because you won't want to do that again. If you want to sew this with your machine, you have to sew until you reach the corner. Then you have to leave your needle inserted, lift the presser foot and turn the piece before you continue sewing normally. Now remove the needle and you have a perfect corner! I hope you enjoyed these tutorials and I will see you in the next video. Bye!